We are back for my weekly crying session. Sharkies 30-18 victors over the Dragons. 18-6 in half time, hey? This was shaping up to be another upset for the Sharkies, and thank goodness for them. They got themselves out of the hole, and it was a lot of it. Blake Brayley, Adam Fanua-Blake, Britton Nikora, and Sione Katoa there with just a mammoth effort to get these guys out of the hole, and then Trindle as well, of course, instead of Nico Hines. My night was filled with all my players getting under 50, and everyone that is popular, Adam Fanua-Blake, Nikora, Cook, all coming out and absolutely dominating. So shout out to everyone who jumped on those guys. I am leaving myself the tag of PAG, Professional Advice Giver, because my team's in shambles. But I did say this week, Cook versus Tavanga, pick Cook. And he had a ridiculous try on his own there. 43 tackles as well. Now, he did have 56 minutes, which was a little bit lower than what people hoped. And as a non-owner, that is the only solace that last night gave me, was that he's not likely going to keep with that 70 to 75 minute effort that we saw for those couple of games when they did have injuries. And, in this game, they didn't have those problems. And, well, look, he played the first half, then went off, and the Sharkies went on a bit of a run. So I don't know, is that something that they could change next week? It seemed to work, having Cook and also Little on the park at the same time. And then they went away from it in this one with 56 minutes. So the score you'd be absolutely flying with and happy as with. And yeah, that's about it for Cook. I will shout out Mitchy Boy just before I get into my basketball story as well, just to cap off last night. Just so you can get the picture of me in my brain. But and then it was Sports Central last night with the cricket on. The Aussies struggling a little bit, but hopefully we'll be okay. And then we had golf on as well, big US Open. So Mitchy Boy, Nikora, I will display a public apology to you, my friend. 1 try, 2 line breaks, still 4 missed tackles, but offloads and tackle breaks. This was massive for Nikora in this one, 74. And Matty, I hope you didn't take the bet on Burbo versus Nikora there. Britton, is he back? I'm not sure, but this score was absolutely incredible and massive for round 15. So Mitchy Boy on the charge now, I think, with that 74. A great score from him. Exactly what you would have wanted. Last night, it couldn't have gone any better. Now, Adam Fanua-Blake, 84 for him, 67 minutes. This was a tough one. I had him at number 3 in the best mids. So hopefully you were on him already, or you bought this week, and I did pick him up in the private group squad, which was a small win for the crew. But those minutes were awesome. 47 tackles, 1 miss, much higher than where he's been at tackle numbers wise. And if he can get anywhere near that number on a semi-regular basis, he's going to be back to that 60 number, which would be awesome. And a guy you hold for the rest of the year and play confidently. Definitely looks like he's definitely away from that injury that he, he had a quad complaint, and then he had his shoulder issue. It looks like he got through that pretty fine last night. Now, my basketball story. So whilst I was, just before halftime, I was getting out of the car, getting ready for basketball. Nico Hines was on a mighty 15. King Tonga, who I looped Hines and King, but basically it was like, I'm just not playing King Tonga. He goes over for a try, so that was nice. So Hines sitting on 15. Cook's already scored a try. AFB's playing the full 40. I'm like, this is just beautiful. Absolutely magic. Right, we're going to basketball. It's kind of a back and forth affair, fairly low scoring. Both teams can't really, couldn't hit water if they fell out of a boat type of areas. And then we get down to the end. JB hits a 3. Missed his first 4, but we hit the 3 to go ahead by 1 with 3 minutes to go. It was cool. They then get out to a 6-point lead. So I think it was 31-30, take the lead. They get out to 37 to 31, and there's 35 seconds left. We have the ball. One of our boys gets in the paint. I come through on the from the left block, come in, get the layup. Beautiful. They then try to inbound the ball. One of our boys knocks it up to the right hand side. JB comes over, grabs the ball, 1 dribble into the corner, turn, take the shot, 3 goes down. We're on here. We're down by 1 with 6 seconds left. They then inbound the ball again. two hands, one of our boys, one of their boys. The ball goes up to the left side of the key. JB comes over, grabs, turns one step, little floater from like a couple of meters away. Feels pure. I'm like, that should be going in. Dun-dun-dun. Bounces out, lands over. One of their boys grabs it. Buzzer goes off. The boys lose by 1. Could have been the greatest comeback in history. And you know what I felt in that moment? I was sad, clearly. And I was like, wasn't to be tonight, was it? My fantasy team's in shambles. And then we could have won the unthinkable and didn't. So it was fun at least. We liked the close games. And that was my night. So here we are. Blake Brayley, 89. Hope you enjoyed the story. 2 line breaks, try assists. Actually, comment as well. Does anyone watch these videos and enjoy my misery when I've had a bad fantasy week or fantasy night? Let me know. Have some fun with it. If you actually do, or if like you secretly do, then yeah, come clean now. Bradley 89, the best score of his career? It'd have to be close. 2 line breaks for him, try assists. He was looking to run the footy, which was so different. And if he actually gets into a role where he actually runs a footy, and he did, I think he had like 3 runs early in this game. That also isn't going to help Nico Hines. But a cracking score for him. If you did jump on knowing that he's missing round 18, you were just getting his score this week, or if you had him for round 12 as well, then happy days for you. I don't think he's very high owned, but 7% is pretty decent overall. So well done to him. DeBellin 76 was massive. Got that pretty easy try as well. Some bad defense on that right-hand side. But he was back to some of his old tricks. He had Katoa, 67. Cook, 66 was great. Flanagan, 61. Yeah, they can't get that win, can they? But he was doing everything, obviously, with goals as well. Lucci, Arno, Leilua. So he was the potential edge that you could look at. He did have a line break assist, a try saver as well. And 62 kick meters. I did see that big whack in the first half there. But 433k with Sewer being out, that definitely leaves them, like with Egan as well, leaves him short one of those edges, and he has to play the big minutes there for a little bit. But when Sewer comes back, how does that change? Is he going to keep with the 80 minutes, or is he going to go back to the mid-50s or so? And if that's the case, then he's not someone to look at. If it isn't the case and he keeps the 80 minutes, then he's at a pretty decent price overall. Now, Trindle's 52 with the 2 tries, kind of irrelevant for us, apart from the fact that he's beating Hines. McInnes, 51 in this one, 50 minutes, so a little bit lower than where AFB's at, so I'm not sure why that's been the way. Like, it seems like they're preferring AFB to play the bigger minutes at this point of the season. It seems like the last month has been something like that. So I would have thought that it would be the other way. Like, I know AFB was doing it when he was playing for the Warriors, but yeah, we've seen McInnes just be a bit more up and down, or AFB gets the bigger minutes in sort of every second week. So 43 tackles for him, 1 tackle break, 95 meters. It was solid, but yeah, AFB was the play apparently. Couchman, sad one. Just had a bit of a tough start, a couple of infringements, had the 2 missed tackles, had the 1 error, and that missed tackle early was pretty gross. Actually, while we're here, what about that short dropout that clearly went past the 10? He jumped from 1.5 meters inside, on the right side of the 10 meter line. Referee was right in line with it, and he's like, nah, it didn't cross the plane. It's as clear as day, and you were right in line. You could see all the guys pushed further right, and then it drifted back just a little bit, and so they took one step back to the closer to the 10 meter line or the 40 meter line, and he still hit it from inside. And they're like, yeah, it didn't cross. So that was massive. Obviously down 6 at that time. So Dragons fans will be very, very frustrated with that. And I just don't know how you can make those blunders. But I make fantasy blunders every week, I suppose. So I'll shut up now. But Couchman 47. Very, 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 very frustrating the last 2 weeks. And this one that was fairly close for a lot of this game, to only have the 39 tackles. You can see there a lot of the tackles were made on the Shark side, with AFB, Wilton, McInnes going for the big numbers there. Couch with the 121 meters, a little bit lower there. Offload to ground, the 1 tackle break, the 8 in negatives was a bit rough, and I definitely want him back in the middle. Now, how many minutes is he going to get there? That's the tough one. But if you picked AFB instead, then well done to you. Hopefully by the time round 17 comes along, he is back in the middle with Jaden Sewer returning. That's the goal. Now, King Tonga, of course, he got a try saver as well, with 46 for him with that awesome solo try. Congrats there. 5 missed tackles, 39 run meters, 87 on the kick meters. So a pretty stock standard game for him. If he didn't have that try, even keeping the try saver, he's sitting near the high 20s mark, which is pretty stock standard for him. So I gave some advice to the private crew. I'll give it to you guys as well, that if you're looking to make a trade in the half or the wing fullback position, doing some looping, whatever else, or if Sharp's out this week, then I would keep that score and not make the trade, because trades are so valuable. I just wait and use it later. Now, Hines with 45, 5 goals for him, 1 line break assist, 126 run meters, which is good, 197 kick meters, a little bit better than normal, 1 offload, 2 errors. Like that error too, I think that was I didn't tell you the rest of my night. Actually, it could have been worse. It could have been one player worse. It was Hiroti or Jesse Ramian I was going to bring in so I can make an upgrade in Supercoach. And I asked the crew, I was like, that's how good my Supercoach season's going. I left it up to a 50-50. Left or right is all I asked for. And we end up with right. And then, so Hines drops the ball. Just pass to him normally, just knocks it on. The Dragons then run upfield, and then Jesse Ramian gets sin binned. I was like, how good's this? Hines on like 10. Ramian sin binned. Cox already scored. It was great. It was great times. So what I will say, glad that Hines got to 45. I think I'll be taking the score. Yeah, can't take King Tongia's, but we'll take the 45. It could have been a lot worse, and I would have not known what to do there. So we'll leave it there. With Hinesy, not excited at all. There was a reason I didn't talk about him in the buys video. He's closer to the sell list than the buys. And I think people will probably sell him next week there. It's a tough one. It's just not working out. Even when they win games, it's just the last 3 weeks anyway, it's not happening. And you can see there, when they played better in the second half, he picked up a 30-point half. But if they're losing it by any stretch, then there's going to be some low games in there, sadly. Little's 37. I don't know how to say it. Is it Nick Sagranis? 37 for him. 20 tackles at centre, 162 run meters. So good effort there. Does he keep the spot over Lawson? We will find out. But yeah, it was a fun little debut for him. Congrats. Ramian's 36, so he worked hard with a couple of offloads, good run meters outside of that. Sinbin, you had Mulatalo with 32. But yeah, Ramian, generally a pretty solid pick there in the low 400s, which was 400k in Supercoach, same deal. Gutho, 27 with a line break, just shows where he's at. He's a low 40s guy, like we've seen there. Unfortunately, Talakai, 46 minutes for him. He'll come on and play centre now for at least the next little bit until Hiroti's back. So he becomes an interesting cash down type of option who likely only has a few weeks in the side, in that starting side. And the 3 sad ones actually here. Well, we'll make it 4 with Hiroti, 7 for him with a calf issue in the end. I thought you were holding his knee, but it was his calf. Lawson, 17. The team's just not good enough, hey? And if then they haven't got that shape, then he's not going to be on the back of it. 1 error, 1 missed tackle, had a turnover tackle. But yeah, just not getting him enough footy, and when you're losing, it makes it tough. Just hold now, leave him in your side, go from there. Kennedy, Mr. Daliam, 19 for him in this one. 200 run meters, no tackle breaks. That's impressive. Hamish Stewart, this was the sad one of the week. They're getting bench minutes and only getting 22. Very, very rough. 16 run meters, 21 tackles, 3 misses. Couldn't have gone much worse for Hamish, and he's been much better than that. PPM's been awesome, but unfortunately not with this one there. Yeah, rough. Definitely rough on that one. And if he's going to stay on the bench, a definite sell. Unfortunately, you got him through this round 15. It didn't even help you, and has a bye next week. You can move him on. Thankfully, a good price and made some cash. And then Pacifica Tonga, anyone who bought him 300k, went back to that 21 minutes that we've seen from him. If Hamish Stewart wasn't going to get minutes, then Pacifica wasn't either. A 13 for him in that time with low run meters as well. 1 missed tackle in that one too. So a few rough scores in there, a few average scores. And if you missed out on the big ones, it was tough. If you got them, I'm excited for you. Congrats. And it's what I have to remind myself always. Like, it's not all about how I go. Yeah, I think you get in your head sometimes about that. It's like, especially running a channel, I'm here to give you guys the best advice. And last night, Adam Fanua Blake Cook. I didn't talk about Nicaragua because he hasn't been performing well. So we'll leave that one to Mitch. Well done on that one. But those guys that did well, I have been recommending. So I was like, I got to lean back on that. It's not all about my rank and how I go. Yes, it helps, but it's about you guys. And we're going to keep it that way. So thanks, guys, for watching again. And hope the Vice is going well. And I hope your team's going well. See ya.